discover how to manifest millions in today's episode with Valerie Herrel. And what's so special about Valerie is that she's a manifestation coach, and she'll tell us all about how she managed to manifest a seven-figure business and manifest millions and to go from zero to superhero in her life and business. So tell us, Valerie, how can entrepreneurs manifest millions?
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu. Mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
Hi, Lily. It's an absolute pleasure to be on the podcast today. So manifesting millions, it all starts with really an internal journey. You see, a lot of people think like when they want to manifest a lot of wealth and abundance, they need to go out and make it happen. They need to go out and hustle. They need to go out and put in a lot of effort and time and energy to manifest great levels of wealth. But the beautiful thing that I discovered is that manifesting great abundance starts with actually going within. It's kind of like an internal journey to kind of figure out your own unlimited nature, your own unlimited abundance within, and then bringing that really forth into your physical 3D reality. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Thank you. But what does that mean exactly? How can entrepreneurs start to see that abundance in their inner reality? And how can that manifest into their outer reality too?
Yes. And I think it kind of relates to being a Titan, right? If we think about who we are on the inside, a lot of people really think that they're a lot smaller, a lot of more finite, a lot more limited than we truly are. But we are really encoded with the like kind of creator DNA, right? To create anything that we desire in our reality. But a lot of us are kind of stuck in a program that we've been running since sometimes childhood or since trauma or since something happened. Because, for example, when I was younger, we lost it all. And we literally had to start from ground zero with absolutely no belongings and no money. And I had to work my way up from there. But what I soon discovered is that debt was following me and a lot of mishaps were following me because I kind of got stuck in this rut of debt and lack. And then once I went on an internal journey, I actually went on a 10-day silent meditation retreat. And that's where I discovered my true essence, my true power, my true nature. And in discovering that, I found my own unlimited abundance and then kind of brought that forth into my reality through the things that I was like manifesting. So there's so many things like moving parts to this, but it's really about discovering your own innate creator within.
Thank you. So where can entrepreneurs start to find the creator within? Because, for example, let's say for me, I'm ultra creative. Now, I can't say that I've manifested everything that I want in my life. But at the same time, I feel like anything that I want to manifest, I can make it happen. And I do start to see things kind of unraveling. And I wonder about how can entrepreneurs remove the self-sabotage? So for example, let's say it's very easy for me to attract world-class business titans to my business. It's so easy for me to be around and to magnetize to my business and to me really mind-blowing people like multimillionaires and influencers and celebrities. And it's so easy for me to do that. Okay. So, and what I've noticed is that when those people come to me, it's like, it's very easy for me and it's so hard for other people. But what I've noticed as well is that there's a lot of self-sabotage that happens when people are actually there. Okay. So I've so far received thousands of opportunities. And out of those, there are some that have never come to life. And I think it's because of my personal self-sabotage. So how can entrepreneurs kind of remove that self-sabotage that happens so that they can be their creator self and kind of make a lot more of what they're thinking come to life and complete it fully?
Yes, that is such a beautiful question because the only thing in the way of us manifesting millions or manifesting true love, the only thing in the way is us and our own self and our own beliefs and our own blocks and our own self-perceived limitations, right? So I call them manifestation roadblocks. So when we understand that we are here and this is our dream life, our goal of manifesting millions or whatnot, right? It's not a straight line that connects point A to point B. It's kind of like a curved line, right? With ups and downs and doesn't go straight. And there's a bunch of roadblocks on the way. Well, those roadblocks are our limiting thoughts, our limiting beliefs, lack of worthiness, right? Our patterns, our programming, etc. That's blocking us from achieving that. So that's why I said like it's a very internal journey to remove those blocks, to go through our own minds and say, okay, what's blocking me? What's stopping me? What's slowing me down of achieving millions or achieving X, Y, and Z? And it's about going through your mind and your internal beingness and looking, okay, what is in the way? Because funny enough, when I started manifesting money, I was manifesting small sums, and the small sums came so easy. It was like every day more and more money coming in. But then once I wanted to manifest larger sums, like 6 figures or more, it was very, very difficult for me. And I realized that I was sabotaging myself because I didn't feel worthy of easy money. I didn't feel like money should come to me in such a manner that's so fast that I didn't have to put in effort or time or energy and hustle and work hard, because that was my past programming. My past programming is I have to put in a lot of time, effort, dedication to make a lot of money. So when money started coming to me so easily, I started blocking it because I didn't feel worthy of easy money, because my past programming that was stuck in my mind was telling me that I had to work hard to make a living. So that's the thing, like manifesting is this constant recalibration of your internal landscape to overcome those roadblocks that are on your path.
Thank you. What techniques and strategies or tools, apps, routines can entrepreneurs use to remove self-sabotage and then to start surrendering to the flow that is coming to them?
Yes. So once you start realizing what are your biggest blocks, right? It could be around worthiness. It could be around, you're so used to hustling to make a lot of money, or you feel like X, Y, and Z is in the way. Once you kind of analyze some of your biggest roadblocks, now you can implement tools to kind of overcome that. So some of the easiest techniques that I kind of teach everyone is affirmations, visualizations, and those are really my two main ones. Like, for example, if I want to manifest a certain amount of money in my bank account, and I've never been able to achieve that level of wealth in my bank account, what I have actually done in the past, and this works wonders, is I got an editor on Fiverr to Photoshop my bank balance and to cross out the zero or to remove the zero or whatever balance that you have in your bank account, and actually put the number that you desire to have in your bank balance. And then you post that all around your house or on the wallpaper on your phone or the wallpaper on your desktop. And you look at it day in and day out to reinforce that number in your mind and constantly visualize it to see like, okay, this is going to be my number and this is going to be in my bank account, and make it feel so real and feel all of the feelings that are attached to those emotions of actually making that come true. So it's all about kind of tricking the mind, because the mind doesn't know the difference between our actual reality and our perceived reality. So if we make our perceived reality as real as our actual reality, then automatically we become an energetic match to what we're looking to call forth into our reality. So visualizations and affirmations would be my two main ones.
Thank you. Are there any other techniques that you use? For example, the whisper method, the O method, the Neville Goddard method? I don't know. Are there any of those methods that work as well for you in terms of manifesting what you desire?
Yes, I call it my manifestation toolkit. No matter what's going on in life, I always have a tool. But I always have Neville Goddard right by my side. He was my teacher and my inspiration in starting my manifestation practice 5 years ago. But I actually do something every single morning, which I call my manifestation minutes morning routine. And I take about 45 minutes of my time before I start any activity in a day. And I sit down on my meditation pillow and I calm my nervous system. I do a couple of breathing exercises, and then I start visualizing my dream life. And literally, I can't even tell you how powerful this is. This is how I manifested my dream home, how I manifested my soulmate, how I manifested money. And so basically, when I close my eyes, I imagine in vivid detail what my dream life looks like and feel it with all of the emotions attached to it. And then I also do a little bit of a cleansing. If there's any kind of limitations that pop up in my mind that say, oh, this is not possible, or oh, this feels too big, I try and remove that from my system and do an energy clearing. So that's kind of my method.
Thank you. I remember years ago, I went to a course which was about healing and empowering yourself. And I noticed that right after the course, I started manifesting so many clients that were just like contacting me. And I noticed almost like a magic switch in my frequency, so much so that I felt like I was 20 years younger. And of course, that course was about healing yourself and possibly relieving anger, or letting go of anger, and just increasing your energy in general. So I wonder whether there's any exercise or tool or technique entrepreneurs can leverage to let go of anger or other negative emotions that will enable them to remove energetic blocks that are currently stopping them from not just attracting wealth, but actually when the wealthy clients are there, to be able to actually close the deals and make things happen.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, because 5 years ago, when I was stuck and I was super broke and I was in so much debt, I became very anxious and I became very depressed, and I was a very angry person at that time. And so what I realized and discovered is that you cannot manifest wealth and abundance and love from a frequency of anger, of depression, of anxiety, of any kind of low frequency emotions. So the number one thing that I always recommend people is to raise your frequency, raise your state to a level of joy, of happiness, of abundance, of bliss, because from that frequency, you attract things of similar nature, right? So that's why 5 years ago, I didn't realize that my life is one giant manifestation, right? When I look out into the world, all of the things that were happening were in relation to how I was feeling at the time. So I think the number one thing for people is to, every morning when they wake up, be in a state of gratitude, be in a state of bliss, be in heightened frequency emotions, so that they can draw in the life that they so much desire. Because if, for example, an entrepreneur is looking to draw in more clients, and every day they're frustrated, they're angry that they're not getting clients, they're frustrated that they're not making money, and they're in this kind of loop, like a hamster on the hamster wheel, they're going to keep attracting similar situations to them that are not going to allow new clients to be drawn to them, new opportunities to be drawn to them, etc.
Thank you. The other thing I'm noticing, I'm very much aware of what's happening, and I try to draw conclusions from what's happening in order to learn how to become a better person every day. And what I've noticed in the past is that I was attracting a lot of clients that had been deceived by other people previously. So when it came to actually investing in something big with me, you can say the objection was always, I invested, hundreds of, or whatever, tens of thousands with other people, and I didn't get any results. And now, there's you. And the thing is that I always wondered, what did that mean in terms of my manifestation? Why am I manifesting this? So my question is, how can entrepreneurs ensure that they are not manifesting their worries and that they are manifesting actually what they desire?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Because that's 100% it, right? Whatever we worry about is what gets attracted to us. But also whatever we're grateful for and what we're happy about gets attracted to us. So whatever we ooze and exude out into the world, right, is what we attract more of. So if every day we're in a state of worry or in a state of mistrust, right? Especially I see this happening a lot in relationships. People that are in this state of mistrust, I've been cheated on by a past boyfriend, I'm always going to be cheated on. That is their reality. And guess what? They're going to keep attracting men that are going to be cheating on them because that is their self-perceived reality, right? So it's all about the story that we tell ourselves, because I tell people your story dictates, right, your own identity, your own belief system, and your own belief system dictates your subconscious programming. And then your own subconscious programming creates your reality. So it all starts with the story that we tell ourselves, which then fuels our identity, our subconscious program, and in our life. So it is so important to attach yourself to the emotions that you want to feel, to attach yourself to the clients that you want to attract, and to exude that out into the world instead of worrying about things.
Thank you. So for entrepreneurs that are waking up feeling anxious or sad or shame or guilt or resentment or depression, how can they shift that emotion into a positive one? Let's say if they were to look at their bank account and their bank account is not looking so great right now, or they're living with a partner that they dislike, or they have an abusive situation they're living in. How can they overcome their current circumstances and be able to elevate their vibration, knowing their circumstances are not currently favorable?
Yes. So according to the teachings of Neville Goddard, which I'm so grateful you brought up, he always says you have to live from a place of the wish being fulfilled. And the second thing he says is you have to deny the current senses, right? So what we have to do is in our mind's eye and in our perceived reality, we should live from a place of having our wishes already fulfilled, right? So if we're right now depressed and anxious, what would your future reality look like? What would your future self feel like? Right? And then attach and bring those feelings up in you. Like, for example, when 5 years ago, I literally had to leave my corporate job because my depression got so bad, I had to go on a medical leave of absence. And so I decided from that point forward, okay, is my future self depressed and anxious? No. Is my future self broke? No. Is my future self unhappy? No. What does my future self look like? What does she feel, right? And every day I tuned into the feelings of my future self. And when you do that, you bring that reality closer to you. But it is a constant recalibration, because then when later in the day you're starting to feel sad again, you have to recalibrate. Or later in the day when you go to the grocery store and you say, I can't afford any of this stuff, you have to recalibrate. Or later in the day when you get a bill and you don't know how you're going to pay it, you have to recalibrate. And so it's so important to keep tuning into the wish already being fulfilled and to keep tuning into your future self, no matter how hard it is sometimes.
Thank you. So when you have constant triggers, like what you said, like you get a bill that you can't pay, or you have your partner who annoys you, or you have a living circumstance that's not good, all these different triggers that are recurring. What kind of exercises can entrepreneurs leverage in order to tune themselves into this frequency of love, of abundance, of joy, and every other emotion they would like to feel when they have their wish fulfilled?
Yeah. So number one definitely can be gratitude. Like if you're not in a state of constant gratitude, it's hard to make that shift, right? So number one, I think, is to be grateful for what you already have, even if your bank balance is in the negative, right? You still have legs to walk. We still have air to breathe. We still have this beautiful world that we're living in. We still have a beautiful family. And so once you tune into the things that you do have versus the things that you don't have, there's like this internal shift that automatically starts taking place. Even when I was in the negative and I had all my credit cards maxed out, there were so many things that I found that I was so grateful for. There's so many people that have it so much worse than us. And here we are. in this beautiful country with all of these incredible opportunities, with all of our loved ones feeling so supported. And I started tuning into that. So I think the number one tool or technique would definitely be living in a state of continuous gratitude.
Thank you. What was that thing that made the difference and the shift from the moment when you had no money to a moment where you started getting some money in?
So I think it was like I had enough. Like I was done living that life. I had almost gotten used to being broke and living in that life. And there was this moment where I was like, okay, enough is enough. I don't want to live this life anymore. And so I literally, from one moment to the next, I booked Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. I saw him on your background earlier. I did a attendee silent meditation retreat. I did a shamanic plant medicine retreat. Like I went to so many different things to kind of break myself open. And really, I think it is like a pattern interrupt. Right? Because we're so used to being ourselves that we sometimes have to like drastically interrupt who we are to kind of break open so that we can tune into our truth and tune into the real version that's really looking to be unleashed. So I think that was the biggest thing for me, is allowing myself to like be cracked open and really look at myself and look at the life that I had to create it, that I was responsible for, and realizing that, okay, if I created this reality, if I created this life, I am now responsible for uncreating it and creating a new reality for myself.
Thank you. In terms of building a business, it's around manifesting. How were you able to start manifesting business authentically, coming from a space of, let's say, having not much?
Yes. So I actually used a vehicle, and there's a million vehicles, right? I always say there's a million ways of making $1 million. So I used a vehicle of real estate. So with absolutely no money, right? I actually ended up buying my very first home. And I got a friend of mine to help me invest in that very first home to put the down payment on, right? But I literally had no money in my bank account when I bought my very first home. And then with the assistance of other people, I ended up fixing up that home and flipping it and making some money. Now I took that money and bought 2 investment homes. I started investing in those homes and selling those. And I kept scaling up to the point where now I have 11 rental properties. But I started with no money. See, a lot of people think like, oh, I need a lot of money to make a lot of money. I need to have a lot of time to make a lot of money. I need to put in a lot of effort. But when you rewire yourself, you come to different solutions that sometimes you haven't thought of before. So even with no money, with a full-time job, with absolutely no time, I managed to scale and build this incredible real estate portfolio. So it wasn't just real estate, it was a lot of mindset, right? Because I previously thought, oh, I can't become a real estate investor. I don't have any money. I don't have any skills. I don't have any talents. I don't know anyone. But it was that constant recalibration of my internal landscape to saying, yes, I can. Yes, I can become that individual. Yes, I can attract easy wealth. Yes, I can manifest abundance. Yes, I can have a real estate empire. And so that's really like the vehicle that I used.
Thank you. What kind of routine or habits do you recommend for entrepreneurs to leverage when manifesting millions?
So any kind of routine or habit, it is really what I like to call your own becomingness, because a lot of people say, okay, do the affirmations, the I am statements, do the visualizations, do the meditations, etc. But a lot of entrepreneurs don't have time to do that, right? A lot of entrepreneurs say, Valerie, I am already so busy. I don't have time to add more modalities. So what I like to tell them is to shift their own beingness, to when certain thoughts come up in their mind, realize, okay, is this my subconscious program that is thinking these thoughts, right? Of I am limited, of I can't afford this, or oh, this is going to take a lot of time, or oh, this is going to be so difficult. Is that your truth, right? Is that your true essence that's stating that? Or is that your mind? And again, the mind is designed to keep us small, stuck, and limited, right? Our mind is not designed to unleash us into abundance. So I think it's the recalibration and the understanding of, is this my true awareness? Is this my true self? Or is this my mind that is stating these things and making me believe these things? So I think that is the most important thing, is to become aware of that.
Thank you. What other tools and techniques do you recommend entrepreneurs to leverage to manifest millions? And I'm talking about, do you use any of the, the O method, the whisper method, the other methods that there are already on the market for entrepreneurs to manifest?
Yeah, so I actually I don't use any of those methods because what I found is there's so many different techniques out there, and some work for some people, others work for other people, right? So, but with me, visualization is a big one, and auditory is another one, right? So, I also have a vision board wall. So, in my office, I actually have 8 vision boards. A lot of people just do one vision board or they do like a wallpaper on their phone, but I have 8 vision boards. And one is my bucket list board, another is a travel board, another is a career board. And for me, it's so important to keep reinforcing those visuals of my future reality in the present moment. So it depends, whatever method or technique that works for them, to apply that, but don't get too overwhelmed with too many things that are out there.
Thank you. For me, one of the most impactful things that I've leveraged when it comes to manifestation is actually going to a state of joy. Because I find that when you are joyful, you automatically attract positive experiences and situations and people into your life. And what brings me joy is dancing. So what I find is that every time I go dancing and I have a really good experience, because perhaps I like the music, or I like the people I'm dancing with, or I just like the vibe. And there are certain songs that in particular trigger this joy just by listening to them, even if I'm not dancing. So what I've discovered is that when I have, even, for example, even an hour of dancing, okay, I come back home and I feel so contented and I feel so relaxed and I feel like I'm in paradise. And then I remember, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I have legs, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to move. And this becomes even more prominent for me because I stayed this summer with a relative, and this lady couldn't move very much. Okay. And what I've discovered is that, we are still young. We can still move. We can still go out. We can still go to the shops. And there are so many people that haven't got this possibility anymore. And this is something to totally, take advantage of. Now, when I'm in a low mood, perhaps I'm not in that grateful state of mind. But when I'm in that joyful mood, I find that that's when the best ideas come to me. And then I start, oh, I should do this, or I should do that. And it's those tiny things where I get the idea and then I implement it, but I implement it because I'm feeling joyful. And when I'm feeling joyful, I'm feeling courageous as well. I'm feeling bold. And it's like everything kind of starts to move. So I'm like, my body is in motion and I feel like I can do it. I feel courageous. I feel bold. I feel joyful. I feel beautiful. I feel desirable. Okay. So because of all this combination, what happens is that so much happens just because I went dancing for 1 hour. So is there anything you recommend entrepreneurs to do to get to this joyful state so that they can manifest more?
Yes. It's always like following your highest passion, right? Your highest joy. Because before I was in real estate, I actually had multiple failed businesses. And when I look back, I was like, why did that business fail? I put in all of my energy, all of my effort, all of my everything into that business. But it was all about me just looking for the money, me just going on a path just for the money and not for the joy, not for the passion, not because I was liking it. So I feel like it was the universe shutting that down so I can actually pursue a path that I'm most joyous for, because joy, when you're in that state, it's like, it's easy to be grateful. It's easy to feel abundant. It's easy to draw in your future self into your present reality. So a lot of people, unfortunately, in this day and age are pursuing a career or pursuing a job just for the money, and they're not happy and they're not joyous and they don't feel fulfilled. And when you're in that state, it's so hard to recalibrate yourself to your dream reality, to manifest your dream reality. So that's why, like, when I wanted to become wealthy, I was stuck in a corporate job and I was really depressed. And I literally had to just let go of that job and say no more. And I had no plan. I didn't know yet I was going to go into real estate. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no money saved up, but I quit that job because I wanted to pursue my joy. I wanted to pursue my path. I wanted to pursue my passions. And I knew it wasn't in that career. I knew I would never find fulfillment and abundance in a career that just kind of kept me stuck. So yes. Finding your joy is so, so important. And it can be in the little things, right? It can be in cooking a meal or taking your dog for a walk. With me, it's cuddling with my chickens every morning. That brings me a lot of happiness. So for everyone, it's something different.
Wow, I love that. And what I find is that, for example, even if I go out and I buy a dress, and I really love red dresses, okay? Even if I go out and I buy a red dress that even doesn't have to be even very expensive, it brings me a lot of joy because I imagine myself in it and I'm like, oh my God, I'm absolutely mind blowing right now.
Yes.
So what's happening is that I very quickly go into this state of joy. And because of that, I am become this master manifester where I come up with the best ideas when I'm shopping.
Yes.
Not really.
That reminds me, my boyfriend bought me like a gown for Christmas. And I was like, honey, can I wear the gown tonight? Because like, I just want to wear it. He's like, no, you can't wear that out in public to just to a restaurant. And I'm like, why not? There's something about wearing a beautiful new dress that makes a woman feel and stand in her own power. It's such a beautiful thing.
Yes, and the other thing I find is that there are not a lot of balls, for example, in London. But when there is a ball or there is like a very special event where you have the opportunity to wear like a proper ball gown or, you know, a really nice, exquisite, elegant evening dress, it's like you feel like a superstar. And I find that when you feel like a superstar, you can manifest like a superstar. And
Yes.
you have more courage, more power, and you see your impact more. And because you're wearing that, it's almost like you display this regal presence.
Yes.
So people kind of perceive you in a different way, and it can happen so quickly for you. And that's when you feel royal yourself. That's when other people perceive that of you, and that's when they are willing and able to kind of offer you different opportunities that perhaps wouldn't be possible if they hadn't met you. There's something that happens with the energy. So I wonder, is there anything you suggest for entrepreneurs to do to elevate their energy aside from being joyful?
Yes. And Tony Robbins also touches on this. It's power postures. So if we're slouched over and hunched over and kind of looking down and constantly in this kind of moping state of beingness, right? That our energy is going to exude that to ourselves and to the world around us and to the people around us. So just lifting up your posture, standing tall, putting your shoulders back and looking up and feeling confident. Just doing this little exercise alone is almost giving me goosebumps. Like it's making me feel like I'm standing in my power. So a lot of people can shift their vibration, their levels of joy so quickly by just changing their posture, by going on a walk, by doing something else, by shifting the way that they move and by the way that they stand in the world, right? One of my affirmations is always like, I'm larger than life. I'm larger than life. I'm larger than life. And because I don't want to feel small anymore. I don't want to feel unrecognized. When I was younger, I got bullied a lot. And I had like the ugly girl, the ugly duckling syndrome, right? And I just didn't want to be noticed by the world anymore. And now being in this field, right, having to put myself out there, putting myself on social media, I had to kind of recalibrate myself, right, to this new identity. And you can just do it by just shifting your posture into like a power posture. So there's little things. It doesn't have to take a lot of effort. It starts with little recalibrations here and there with the things that you do.
Thank you. Tell us where entrepreneurs can find you.
So I am on social media. I'm on Instagram at Valerie Herrel, on YouTube at Valerie Herrel. I'd love to connect. And I also am online on my website, valerieherrel.com.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.